Greetings, everyone. We call this segment, it's our weekly segment called Moments in Mastery. Masternomics, as I always say, masternomics is a combination of the word master and nomics. The suffix nomics in Latin meaning laws of. So we're talking about the laws of mastery. I myself, Martin Glenn, being a business coach, life coach, and just someone who loves to add value to people, and I love to help people fulfill their dreams. So in this Moments in Mastery segment, we're going to talk about something that we all need to talk about that most people avoid, and that is management. Management affects every aspect of our life. So Masternomics, we focus on two things: personal development and professional development. So when we're talking about our life, us as people, it's all about our management and us to do the things that we want to do and for us to get the things that we want out of life personally. I'm going to share the screen with you. And so today, the importance of management in your personal and professional life. First of all, well, what is management? Let's think about that. Management, we use the term a lot. A lot of us are in business. We have our own businesses. Some of us aspire to have businesses, and some of us work for other people. And we might want to just move up the ladder in that field. But you're going to have to understand what management is. So management, we go by the definition and the meaning. Management is the development of people how to see themselves. Think about that for a second. Directing people how to see themselves, right? So what you're doing is showing someone how to see themselves. So if you have a business and you have employees and you want them to excel, you have to show them how to see themselves, right? So when someone comes in my office and they're saying, I have a business. Now the business might be in whatever. It could be the trucking business, it could be a car salesperson, they could be selling insurance. It's my job in order to manage them, right? So what do I do? I ask them, what is it that you want? What do you want to be? We create a vision of it, and I show them how to see themselves as a successful person in that. In that, I am managing them, right? So even in coaching someone, I'm managing them. So in your business, if you have employees, if you're teaching somebody, if you have a position, you have to show people how to see themselves. You have to show them how to see themselves successful. Because once people see themselves successful, they'll start to feel like they're successful and they're going to progress and they're going to move, right? So that's what we're doing, managing, right? We're managers. We're born to manage. Everything we have, we was given it. People like to say they don't have anything. I say, you got everything that you need. You got arms, legs, you got a brain, whatever you have. If you have one arm, one leg, whatever you have, it's enough for you to do what you need to do in your life, right? And for you to manage your life successfully. So first, let's look at the aspects of top problems that can lead to crisis in your personal life and how management affects them all. So when we're talking to people, most things that affect us all and they cause disruptions in everyday people's life. Now, my job is to take you from being ordinary to extraordinary, right? So if you see yourself as an everyday person, I want to shift that, right? So management, personal finances. Your personal finance, what is that? That's your bills, power, water, cable, paying a car note, things of that nature. So if a lot of times we as people think that we need more money is going to be the answer to everything, right? But I always tell people, money just magnifies whatever it is that you are. So if you have a gambling habit, if I give you more money, guess what you're going to do? You're going to gamble more money. So money is not the problem. Management is the problem, right? So we got to learn to manage our personal finances. You might not be a gambler. You might be a spender. You might go buy a lot of clothes. You might do this. You might go to parties. You might, spend a lot of money. So in most people's cases, it's not the money. It's just people don't know how to manage the finances that they have, right? So you have to learn to manage your personal finances. I always tell people this. So when I talk to people or when I show people, I help people set up their businesses from A to Z, right? But more than helping people start a business, what I do is help create the mind of the business owner. See, everything is mental first, right? So we stress that mental manifests physical. There's two creations, the internal and external. So before you're going to be able to dwell and excel and thrive in your business, your mind has to shift. You have to get in alignment with having the mindset of a business owner. A business owner cannot think like an employee. So you got to manage your thoughts, right? You got to learn to manage everything. So the problems that are plaguing people in their personal life, personal finances, it's management, you know. Do you need all the things that you got, whether it could be cable television, it could be a lot of you going out to eat. If you manage your life better, right? Because you got a stove in your house, you got a kitchen, you can cook more than eating out more. It could be something like that. You could be just mismanagement. So that's the main thing. We got to manage what we got. Relationships, whether you're married or you're just in a relationship or you're dating. How do we manage the relationship? You see what I'm saying? How can we manage what we have, right? So when you see divorce, well, most people say, well, money, this problem, that problem. It's just management. What's the key in management? If you're going to manage somebody in life or in business, what's the key? What's one of the main keys? The main key is communication. And so we see most relationships are mismanaged because people don't communicate. This guy's going this way and she's going that way, right? Why? Because you're not talking. Why? Because we don't want to get uncomfortable. Well, management is about fixing problems. It's fixing issues. It's handling bad situation or crisis situations, right? It's being able to foresee what will happen before it happens. That's all in management. So people don't get in a relationship and just plan to fail in the relationship. What they do is they fail to plan in the relationship, right? So we have to manage our personal relationship, and that starts with communicating with whoever the partner is, your wife or whatever. And that's communication on every level. When we love to have fun together, but we got to discuss these bills too. We got to discuss what are we doing with the money when we get it beforehand, as opposed to when the money comes and the money just goes out. Okay, so when I was building this tax franchise that I have, I would deal with people on a daily basis, people getting $5,000, $10,000 every tax return. And then within a month, 30, 60 days, they're back broke again. What is that? That's poor management. You're not going to be able to build any generational wealth or have anything that will sustain itself if you don't learn to manage, right? And so that affects us personally. What else? If you're a parent, right? When we see kids and they have problems, we see kids and they say, well, that's a bad kid, or that's a problem kid, or that kid went and shot up a school, that kid went and done this, right? He didn't just get like that. Someone did not manage the young man. What is that? Managing people. Remember, management is the development of people and showing people how to see themselves. Someone didn't show the young man or the young lady how to see themselves as successful. So what did they do? They followed after people who have these non-productive, non-successful habits. A lot of cases as parents, they followed after them, and thus they become another plague in society, or they become people who are just non-productive, who do just enough, right? And that's what most people are doing. They're doing just enough. They're just existing. They're not really living, right? So Masternomics is about us teaching to live, teaching people to live, teaching you to thrive and excel, so we can stop this problem of dysfunctional families. Dysfunctional families start off why? There's no communication. There's no leadership. There's no one being an example. There's no one showing someone how to get to the next level. Your job as a parent is to manage your children, manage them, right? To guide them, manage them, show them, no, this will happen if you do this, right? But it first starts with you managing yourself and your emotions. So here again, Masternomics is the personal development and the professional development, right? So I myself, I'm a student. I was a student before I became a teacher. And I'm still a student, and I was a student because I'm a student of life. I'm always going to be learning. You are too. Now you have to accept that you are a student and then you can become a teacher also, right? So for the parents, for everyone out there, anyone in business, you have to have a mentor. You have to have people that you follow. I have a lot of mentors. I have people that always help me get to the next level. When I started my first business at the age of 19, when I quit college and started doing business on my own, I always had mentors. I always had people that taught me and guided me to get to this level. You understand? So it starts with you managing. You can start off simply managing your life and managing how you use the things in your life. Okay. Now, if you don't manage, in the words of Dr. Miles Monroe, what you don't manage, you lose. Simple. If you take that and apply it to your life, if you don't manage something, you will lose it. Case in point, right? This guy right here in the relationship. Now you can pout all you want, but if you don't manage your relationship with that woman, you will lose her. And sisters, if you don't manage your relationship with that man, you will lose the relationship. So what we see in life is we see people that follow the same pattern over and over again. They don't manage the relationship and then they get in relationship with someone else. They don't manage that. And guess what? They start pointing the fingers or they make excuses. No one wants to own and accept responsibility that you are the manager of your life. Okay. You are the manager of your life. You are responsible for your children. You have to manage them. Right. So I'm talking to business people. Right. And as business people, we have women, we have men, or somebody that's involved in our life. We have these partners, we have these relationships, right? We have to manage those things or they're going to affect your business. Okay. Right. So whatever you don't manage, you will lose. It's that simple. If you don't manage something, you'll lose it. Now, think about this. Now, that's the personal level. Now, what about the business level, right? Let's look at the business aspect of things. The top issues that lead to crisis in business. These are the top things that lead to crisis in business. Inadequate support and financing. Everybody says they want money. I want more money, right? But you're not managing what you have. Employee issues, decreased performance levels. So, you know, a lot of us, if you've been in business and you hire people, everyone starts off with a bang, right? You're supposed to be there at 8 o'clock. There's always that guy, the girl, the young lady, she's there at 7 o'clock, 7:15. But guess what? 2 months later, that fizzles away. She's got an excuse, right? You don't communicate with her. Lack of communication. Guess what? They're gone. You understand? It's management. How are you managing people? How are you managing their emotions? You see? So to be a good boss, you have to understand, but you got to communicate with people. Okay. Someone passes away and your group, your team, your job, your place of employment, they have a death in their family. You don't call them. You don't check on them. Right? They don't show up for work. You don't call them to give them support. You don't tell them, you know, some words of encouragement. And guess how they perceive that? They perceive that you don't care. So since you don't care about them, they don't care about your job. They don't care about getting to work on time. And guess what? They can go get a job elsewhere. See, people that want jobs, they just go from one job to the next. But you want to own your business. You want to run your business. So you got to care about people. When you show people that you care about them, in return, they're going to care about you. They're going to care about your business. They're going to treat you good, right? So you have to communicate with people, right? You have to understand. You have to learn to be a people person. How do we make money in business? We make money from people. So that we have to add value to them, always be uplifting them. If you don't manage that, if you can't manage your emotions and help and manage other people and show them how to see themselves as successful, you will lose them. You'll lose employees. You'll lose partnerships. A lot of people have lost partnerships because they couldn't manage the relationship, the business relationship. It was a friendship, and then it became business. You couldn't manage it, so it fizzled away. You lost it. Absence of structure. Weak company culture, inventory issues. Now, what is the absence of structure and weak company culture? Is because when your company, businesses have to move on intent. So if your company has values it has ethics, it has rules, and you have a standard of how you produce your product or how you sell your product, how you dress, guess what? The people that are under you are going to look at you. So if they see you faltering, if they see you wavering, if they see you not doing what you need to do, they ain't going to do what they need to do, right? And so you're going to have a poor company culture, right? And poor quality is going to lead to poor service, and then you're not going to get the clients that you want, and your business is going to fall. You're going to lose your business. There's a reason why most small businesses fail, you know, right? It's because they won't do these little things. It's all in the management. And guess what? You have to manage your customers also, right? The way you manage your customers is by your service and how you talk to them, and how you treat them, and how you make a repeat customer. You're always in a form of management, right? Inventory issues. You got to manage the inventory you got. If you're in a product-based business, you're going to have to manage what's going in and what's coming out. It's a reason why the biggest companies in the world have cameras. When you walk into Walmart, there's cameras on you. Why? They're managing their inventory. Right. So a lot of us, if you're a small business owner, you're on a restaurant or you selling whatever product, you got to keep count, you got to keep track, you got to create a system that's going to always manage. You're always managing. Everything we're doing is managing. The main thing, what I like to point out to people, and you got to realize this, you're not this body, you're not these hands, you're not these feet, you're not the outer part. That part is going to fade away. The way you look today, you won't look that way 10 years from now, right? But what is in you is you. So you are a spirit first. So in Masternomics, we focus on the internal aspects of things. And so if you're a spirit first, then guess what? What's inside you is having this physical experience. But you can't let the exterior control you. You got to control from the inside. So we got to control with our mind and our spirit first, okay? Most people let the outside world dictate them and dictate the reality, right? So you got to manage this flesh that you're in. So if you're going to be a true boss and you want to be a leader of people, and that's a company, you're setting up a company, you're setting up your image, you got to manage your flesh, manage your body, manage your desires, control yourself. You know how many companies and businesses have failed because the management and leadership can't control themselves? You got a lot of nice young women in the office and you can't control yourself, right? And it could be the other way around. It could be the women, it could be whatever, but you got to control yourself, right? What's inside you has to control these hands, control this mind, because everything starts internal first, right? It's all management. You got to manage that, right? You was created to be a creator. You was created to manage. You understand? If you don't manage something, you're going to lose the saying from Dr. Miles Monroe, right? And I like to always point out in Masternomics, for one, you'll find that I point out a lot of our people, a lot of Black people, that our people don't give the flowers while they're here. So one thing I love that he says is, he says, God will never give you what you pray for. He'll only give you what you can manage. Think about that and think about your life. Think about the amount of money that you make. And if you've been making the same thing for the past year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, if you've been making the same thing, that's all you can manage. If you work a job, you're choosing to stay on that level because that's all you can manage, right? You can't handle anymore. You understand? Now, if you want more, you got to show you can manage whatever you got. It's just like when you was a kid, you know, and your mom gave you your allowance, right? Or whatever, or whoever gave you the allowance, or your dad or whoever, right? Gave you a certain amount of money. $20 used to mean something. I mean, when I was little, I get $20. I'm like, yeah, I can buy this candy, I can buy that candy, da, 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 right? But I might look at those new shoes and say, I would love to have them, but shoot, that's so far away. Why? I couldn't manage it. Because when the money would touch my hand, it would be gone. Okay. Then I got older and I wanted more, so I learned about saving. I learned how to invest and turn money into more money. And before you know it, I could buy the shoes that I wanted, right? But I had to get in alignment with what I wanted, and then I could manage whatever I had. We were put here to manage things, okay? We're the only beings on this planet. We're the only animals, so to speak, because we're not animals. They put us in the animal kingdom. We're more than animals. We're spiritual beings having a physical experience. But we're the only ones They have the ability to change things and create things. When we get involved with the things that we have and we've been given by nature, right? We make the most beautifulest of things. Okay? Look at this. This is a forest. You see that land, you see that earth. It's beautiful, but you can't survive in it. If I was to if you was to take off all your clothes and we throw you out there in that wild, that beauty would tear you up. Yeah, it's beautiful, but you can't survive in it. Okay? Unless you learn to manage it. We're the only beings here, we're the highest here on this planet Earth, and we're the only animals, we're the only ones that have intellect and we can raise our consciousness level that we can change this environment. See, we got the ability to change these trees and this dirt, and we can turn it and manage it, and we can create food from it. We can create farmland. We can take those same trees and build houses, right? Dogs can't do it. Cats can't do it. The sheep can't do it. The cows can't do it. The lion, as strong as he is, all they can do is just dwell in whatever environment they're in. And we can take those same animals, as beautiful as they are, we can put them in the zoo, and they're going to succumb to whatever we put them in. Humans, we're the only ones that can change our environment, but we're the only ones that refuse to change our environment. We're the only ones that complain about our income. And when we have companies like this company, and people like me, and people like all the other people that are telling people, create a business and control your life, change your economy. Stop settling for the amount of money they give you and get more. If you want more, do more. But we're the only ones that will dwell in misery. We're the only ones that don't get involved in controlling our life, right? So a lot of people, when you just settle for a job, that's because you're scared. You're being lazy. You don't want to get up and create for yourself. You want someone else just to do it for you. But a lot of us want to complain about the wages that we're getting and complain about the jobs, right? And then we go from not having a job to letting the government take care of us and things of that nature. When we was given everything, we just don't manage it. We just don't manage it, right? So money is usually not the problem. The problem is in management. It's in you understanding who you are. So I don't care what you believe in. I don't care what your religion is. You all acknowledge this higher source, a higher power. And all the holy books, all of them say man was put here on the earth to govern the earth, to oversee the earth. Even if you don't believe that, it's evident because we have a brain, we have intellect, we have higher faculties, we have higher spiritual abilities, right? To change our environment, to create. We create life. We can cultivate life. Why aren't we doing it? Why are we struggling? Why are people still struggling financially? You know, why do we still have bad credit when we know we can get our credit repaired and we can create businesses? Why do we still choose to put to put our lives in the hands of someone else? Why are we letting other people control our time, right? When we have that ability. You got all the ability that you need. Whatever you have is enough, right? Whatever you have is enough to get started with whatever you have. There's always somebody that's in a worse financial situation than you and is in a worse physical situation than you. Wherever you are, you have to put forth the effort and use whatever you have to change your environment and create your own environment. You're a creator. You're created in the image and likeness of a God, and you have divine in you. You just have to access it, right? And when you get in alignment with what you want, and you know what you want, and you tap into that power that you have, that all of us have, then you create things. Then you can take a forest and you can turn it to the most beautiful land, right? You can take that forest and you can create houses, you can create property, you can create food, you can do everything with this same earth. But when you don't, and you let other people just dictate your life, you're always going to be lost. You're always going to be at the mercy of someone else. So that's what it's all about. I'm not saying start a business just to start a business and just act like a boss. I'm saying be that boss. Before you start the business, boss up in your life, right? Manage your life, manage your relationship, manage your children. Control what you can control, and that's your life, right? And that's the message I have for you. That's the moment mastery, right? And that's what it's all about. It's all about getting in alignment with what you want, creating the life that you want, but it starts with management. You was given that ability to manage your life, control your life. Stop letting other people control your life for you. So Martin Chris Glenn, Masternomics, I love you. Peace. See you next week.